Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, the one I'm looking at online is the Balmer, what is it, BR7512H-652.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay. Do you know about the pivot hinges, or?
I'm reasonably dangerous on my feet.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not finding the weight. How much weight does this one hold?
Oh, it's in the extended description. It's listed as 50 pounds.
Okay. So, all right. So maybe I'm looking at the wrong one then. Okay. You have several different hinges, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. So I'm looking for one that's, the door is going to be approximately, it's going to be under 500 pounds.
Oh my God.
Doors around 300 pounds. Okay. It's a wood door. I need the pivot hinge to open. I want the door to open, and I want it to hold in the 90-degree open position. I don't care about the soft close or anything like that, but it needs to be able to open and hold at 90 degrees. And the door's about 350 pounds.
Yeah.
What do you have for me?
I got everything you need. First of all, you don't call it a pivot because what you need is a closer. They make door closers that are hold open, and
yeah, I don't want a door closer. I'm installing a pivot hinge on a door, and that pivot hinge needs to hold in the 90-degree. See, I'm not going to put a door closer on it. And that's going to look like hell. I mean, unless the door closer is hidden. If it's mortised into the door, then fine. But I'm looking for a pivot hinge that holds 350 pounds.
Yeah, there is no pivot hinge that will hold the door in a 90-degree open position.
Yeah, there's all kinds of them. There's all kinds of them out there.
Okay. I'm yet to see them.
Okay, I'm okay. So maybe. Okay, so I guess maybe it's all connected together in the hinge then, or because we're not. Are you talking about just an exterior, just a door closer that just a standard? You see them all the time on exterior doors in commercial buildings.
That's not what I was thinking. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm starting off with what you called and asked for, meaning it's something that's center hung, that is self-centering and hold open. So I'm assuming that those three requirements. I'm assuming that those three requirements are where you're starting.
Right. I don't want a center hung. I want an offset. It's going to be, maybe 3 inches in. To have a center hung, I don't need that.
So you said offset, but 3 inches in. What does 3 inches in mean?
Well, it's the pivot hinge is about, it's a couple inches in from the door. You can do at 3 inches, you can do it, a foot in, you can do it to the center.
Okay. So
that just opens it differently.
Why are you using the term offset? Are you basically saying the vertical axis of pivoting is so many inches off of the jamb?
Right.
Okay. The term offset is a technical term, and it means something very different from that. So the only way to pull, you could take a regular pivot, and you can move that vertical axis of pivoting. You'll see those in balanced doors if you're familiar with them. Is this door single acting or double acting?
It's going to be single. Single will be fine. It's just the customer bought a door, just a massive door and said they want it pivot hinge hung. So I'm just trying to get them the hardware for it. They have nothing else.
Yeah, so you could use an offset hung pivot. You won't use hinges because the doors, well, you could use hinges, but the door is too heavy for normal hinges. Plus, moving that vertical axis of pivoting over doesn't allow you to use hinges. So I do think that you want what's called a center hung pivot. And those can be double acting, but they can also be single acting. It's just how you arrange the frame.
Okay. And when you say center hung, I can put that hinge, I can put that pivot wherever I want on the door. Yeah,
don't get tied on to the word center.
All that then that's my bad. Then I thought the offset, I thought there was an offset and a center one. So the center hung, I can move it wherever.
Well, there are offset and center hung pivots. What that means, though, is where the vertical axis of pivoting is positioned within the thickness of the door. Let's say your door is 2 inch thick. Is it right down the center? Is it measured off the face of the door? Then, on center hungs, you can take your tape measure and run that off the pivot jam and come over whatever the template says, or you could go all the way to the center. We're doing a 6 foot wide single now, and it's like a revolving door.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the issue, though, is holding it open. So you can use a dumb center hung pivot that'll just masterfully carry the weight. 350 pounds, that doesn't even raise the heartbeat of a pivot. But holding it open, if you don't add an additional piece of hardware to hold the door open, you'll have to go with a closer, which will not only center hang the door, it'll hang the door in a center hung fashion. It'll carry the weight. It's designed for the weight. And it will allow you to hold open. So the way I see it is it's either a pivot and another piece of hardware to hold it open to 90 degree, or you go with a concealed closer, either overhead or most likely a floor closer.
Right. Okay. I guess that's what I'm looking for is, so it's a concealed one, but those are now a big piece of hardware, right? Not a big piece, but I'm mortising out the whole bottom of the door.
No, you're chopping into the floor. You're going to bury this in a pocket of mortar in the floor.
Ooh, okay, concrete floor. All right.
Yeah, but these
I've seen the ones that go into the door.
Well, yeah, but those install up at the top of the door. The problem with that is they're not rated for the weight.
Oh.
About 225 pounds is where those top out.
Ooh. Okay, and I think I'm right there at 250, 300. I just kind of did a calculation online what the door is, and I was getting somewhere around 250, 300.
Yeah.
How accurate that is, I don't know, but I know it takes two men to move the door around.
Yeah, about 175 is back in my old days, that range was, after that it was smart to ask for help. But there just isn't a concealed overhead closer that's going to be warranted for the weight. You'd have to turn the spring up so high that an increased, closing force comes with an increased opening force. So it could take two men to push the door open when you put such a stiff spring in there.
Okay. So, I guess basically these, they're going to open the door. All right. So I guess what are my options for them?
Well, I think what it really boils down to is finding an auxiliary piece of hardware that will allow you to take the door to 90, and it will hold there until you pull the door off that hold open point. At that point, the door isn't self-closing. It just will stay there. And you could achieve that with an overhead concealed holder. And you see these all the time in exterior doors of schools, hospitals. Patient rooms have overhead holders and stops on them. That's
now you say concealed. You can't see it.
Yeah, you're going to mortise it to the top of the door and to the rabbet of the frame.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. I think something like that. That's just going to be an extra, little extra labor putting it all in.
Oh, a lot of extra labor. Oh yeah. What's the door made of? What's the frame made of?
It's wood. It's just.
So you're going to be mortising. You're going to, it's not, the template is very clear cut and straightforward. I've done it myself plenty of times. It's easy to do in the sense of understanding how to do it. But, it's the most technical material to mortise for indoors when it comes to hardware.
Right. Okay. Okay. So what kind of price am I looking at for those two pieces, and how fast can I get those two pieces?
Probably about $600, and it's all in. How wide is the door? Did you say?
2.5 inches.
So that's
2.5 inches thick. It's 4.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
8 feet tall.
Yeah, I think because of that width, we're gonna need to get a template made from the factory in terms of where you will position it based on the vertical axis of pivoting. So the answer is realistically 2 or 3 weeks because we'll first have to tell them the model that we want. They'll have to make a drawing because of the width and where you're going to position the pivot and the degree of hold open that you want to achieve. All of that conspires to us having to put it into AutoCAD to make sure of, okay, here's where you mortise for this, here's where you mortise for this, so that you get to 90 based on that.
A little more technical than just popping it in and going, huh? I like that.
Well,
all right.
For you, yes, but that work's got to be done up front.
Oh, no, exactly. Yeah. So, okay, now say we lose the closer.
You mean the pivot?
No, the holder. The holder.
Oh, okay. The pivot I got in stock. It's probably $250, ready to go, done.
Now with the size door, I would still need a template to where I'm going to put it, right?
Yeah, but that's going to come right out of the box. You don't need to. There's no accommodation when you only have one piece of mechanical hardware that is rotating around that vertical axis of pivoting. There's only one vertical axis that's occurring. But when you add other hardware, now we've got 2 other points that are rotating, and all 3 points have to rotate compatibly. But if you eliminate the overhead holder, then all you got now is a revolving door with a weird position of that vertical axis of pivoting. It's not in the center. Yeah, it's easy. There's nothing to it.
Okay, so that one. Okay. All right. Let me get an answer from these guys as to what they want to do. So let me get a piece of paper real quick here.
Or just
mail.com, just a letter Y.
Yeah. Okay.
Is any of this hardware going to be seen? And if so, I would need it in black. Is all.
Yeah. I mean,
you see a bracket or something at the bottom or something, right? A little piece of it or something.
Yeah. If you want to get down on your, if the door is closed and you get down on your knees and you look, you'll see the floor plate because you're looking under the door. But when the door is closed, the non-pedantic answer is, yeah, you don't see this hardware at all. When you open the door and you look up, you'll see the top plate in the header, but not very much of it.
Okay. All right. And then one last question here. Weather stripping.
Yeah.
How do you weather strip a pivot door?
Yeah.
This is an exterior door.
Yeah, this is an awful idea to use center hung pivot hardware for an exterior door. They want to do it all. Are you on the West Coast?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Everybody out there wants to do it. There is no good way, is the bottom line, because in your mind's eye, think of where that stop needs to be placed so that you can,
exactly.
it's on this side of the opening over here, and it's on the opposite side over here.
Right. As soon as it opens, I mean, it's going both ways. I'm looking them up online. I mean, I'm like going, holy smoke, man, this is frustrating.
Yeah, there is no good way to do it. I would very much explain to your client that there is no manufacturer that has this that says, yeah, this door is warranted for an exterior application, and you'll be looking to either what's the door made of? Oh, you said it was wood, so you could be looking. Yeah. You could try to mortise material to the door, because you've got a 2.5-inch thick door, and you could take some aluminum channel, a T-channel, and insert into that like a pile. And you could, let's say it's 1/2 inch. You could mortise that all the way down the top rail on all 4 sides. The bottom is going to be a little trickier. You might need a longer pile, but you could weather strip it that way, in the sense of that's really concealed and it'll look really nice. You could even add springs to it so it's adjustable down the road. But auxiliary pieces of equipment could be tricky, because where will you apply it? You could do a kerf in the jamb and install a Q-line, typical Q-line. You could surface mount weather stripping like the door sweep, but there's no super perfect way to do this, because it's just not meant to go that way. If it was me, because you've got the thicker than average door, you can fit that pivot hardware on there and run a 1/2 inch channel with a router on all 4 sides and insert this material. And I'll include a link to what I'm talking about.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I probably should have talked to you before I gave him a ballpark estimate.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying things that I've seen in the last 30 years.
Oh, no, exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, me personally, I've never put one in, so we're just winging it.
You'll be an expert after this. That's how it goes, right?
Right. Well, no, yeah. You got to start somewhere. So we put indoors all the time. We just never been asked to do this one.
And I've done this one. Not only have I sold the hardware successfully countless times, but I've actually put router to wood. I come from a shop background myself, so I can talk to you about looking at the template.
Excellent. And then in the email, are you going to have a direct phone number to you, or is it I call back and I'm going to get who knows?
Well, there'll be someone here most likely, but my name and number will definitely be on the paperwork that I send you.
Excellent. Okay, and if they want to just go with just the pivot hardware, that can be next week sometime?
Most likely. I mean, it's going to come out of the Midwest, so it's going to be transit time. They might need. Yeah, they might need
end of the week or beginning of the week after. That's fine.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not able to check their stock on black. If it was stainless, that's different. But we'll, I imagine you've got a little bit of time built in before you're going to actually start chiseling wood.
Yeah, we're fine.
Well, I'll send you an email with a couple of cut sheets, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Excellent. Then we're going to have all 3 items that we just spoke about, huh?
Did we ditch the overhead holder?
I'd like to just have that in there just as an option for them, and I'm going to explain to them, what's, a door that size, they're going to open it up, and it's not just going to close. It's going to stay open, correct?
Well,
in a sense.
Well, if the door's hung true plumb level and square, it'll stay where you put it until some force acts on it. So yeah, it's not self-closing. It's
exactly. Well, that's what I'm going to that's what I'm going to tell them. They can pay X amount of dollars more and pay X amount of dollars more for the material and the labor, or they can go this route and just the door's going to stay open for the most part. I mean, until some big gust of wind.
Yeah, or until someone pushes it closed. Absolutely, it's not going to move at all.
Right. So, I don't think they need the self closer, but they live out in the hills, so they just want to kind of be able to, big property. They want to just be able to have everything open.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So,
yep.
Okay. So yeah, maybe, I mean, we'll add that to it, but we'll, I just want to give them the lead time and all that. They may just kind of forget about it after that. They're in a big rush too.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. People get into a rush, and then a year later, it's like, boy, I really wish this could hold open, or whatever. But yeah, whatever. It's construction. Nobody's really thinking ahead.
Exactly. So, okay, well, yeah, if we could just add that one in there too, and then the weather stripping option.
Yep, there'll be 3 lines. My name is Richard.
Richard. All right, Richard. I'm JR. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. I'll send you an email.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.